Hello, Steve White 89. I'm just curious if anyone's had this sort of experience. I had to call a certain hospital today, which I probably shouldn't mention by name, and it was a huge hassle. Now, trying to keep this story short. I made an appointment for echocardiograph, a referral for an appointment back in February or March of 2020. Now, I haven't had a scan for years, I should have, and that just had to be dealt with. And then once the pandemic rolled in, it became really important that I actually work this out. And apparently that referral wasn't received. I spoke to another doctor about other issues, and I mentioned the echocardiograph and that I might have to get one because I didn't have an appointment yet. And she actually sent a referral to them, which I didn't realise she'd done, which is good because that one actually went through. So that was received in May, and they made an appointment in June, and that was in the middle of the pandemic at that point, and a lot of people were rescheduling. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to go out in the middle of a pandemic and go into a hospital where there's going to be people thinking they've got COVID coming in, and some of them might actually have it. So I just called up and said, look, it's okay. Everything's a mess. We're all in this together, basically. People are rescheduling and moving things all the time. Let's just move it ahead a month and call back and see if you want to come. If not, we'll move it again. So I called back and I said, look, I still don't want to come in. I don't want to come in while there's active virus and everything. So we just kept doing that. And she said that was fine. She said, look, we can only make the appointments like a month ahead. So call up basically the day before, basically, and just change it to the next month. And that way you get the most time, because if you call a week or so before, we can only make an appointment 4 weeks from that. So I was calling up like the day before and changing the appointment. So I did this in July, August, September, October, November, so that's 5 months. Now, November we got down to 0, and when I called back in December, the supervisor got on the line and started to have a go at me, and basically saying, look, you shouldn't have done this. I don't know who you think you are, basically changing your appointment all the time like this. You can't do this. Other people are waiting for appointments. I'm like, well, I wasn't making appointments. We were just changing my booking to keep the appointment active for when I could come in. They weren't actually expecting me to actually come in for the appointment. I wasn't expecting to come in for the appointment. I knew I was going to be calling up the day before every month and cancelling it until I could actually come in. And I was originally going to come in when it went down to 0, but then once the vaccines came on the horizon, I thought, well, I think I'll just wait. Since I'm safe at home and I'm used to this now, I think I'll just stay until the vaccines come and then I'll get the test done, because no point risking anything just to get checked to see that you are actually at risk as much as you think. So I can just assume how bad it is and stay home, get the vaccine and go out and get the test done later and confirm it. So they threaten me and say, look, if you cancel this appointment or don't attend this appointment, we will not make any more appointments for you and you won't be able to come back to this hospital again. And I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, can't I just make an appointment in 2 or 3 months when I know I can come in? Or can't I just cancel this appointment and call back when I know I can come back and make an appointment for the next month or something? And they said, no, you can't do that. No, you have to keep this appointment or else. And I'm like, this is insane. My referral is for a whole year. At this point it was December, and my referral was until May. So I should have been able to call back anywhere between now and May and make another appointment. Now, it might take a month or so to actually be processed and actually see them, but I should have been able to do that, but they would not let me do it. So I had to keep making another appointment. So I made an appointment in January, in February, and March. And in March, I made an appointment for the 23rd of April. And unfortunately, I made the flu shot appointment on the 22nd. I thought they were both at the same hospital. I thought I'd made them at the same day, so I thought, well, I can get my scan done the same day I go in for the shots. Since I'm going to the hospital anyway, I can get both done. And they were different days. So the echocardiograph was the 23rd, and the COVID shot was the 22nd. So I didn't know what to do. I hadn't cancelled it because I thought I was going to be attending it, and I'd missed calling them for the day, and I'd had my shot and everything, and I was like, am I going to walk back here? Because it took me an hour to walk to the hospital because I didn't want to catch the bus or the tram, and I don't get out much, so I didn't mind going for an hour walk. It actually didn't bother me. It was just nice to just see like the world still exists. But doing it 2 days in a row is a bit much, especially since to get back in time to get my click and collect from Coles on time, I had to sort of rush a bit, and it was a bit difficult because it's downhill on the way, but it's uphill on the way back. So it was a bit different. So, and then the next morning I woke up and I lost my vision. It was all blurry. I couldn't see, and I didn't know if it was a side effect of the COVID vax, and I was a bit freaked out. And this was about 3 o'clock, and the appointment was at 3:30, and I called them about 3:15, I think. And I said, look, I can't come. I can't see. I don't know. I'm calling the doctors. I'm calling the optometrist. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's a side effect of the shot or if it's something else. If it's something else, that's its own problem, which is a concern. And she said, look, I don't know. I said, can we make another appointment or what? I mean, I can't come in. I was planning to, but I can't. And she said, well, look, I'll speak to someone or whatever. And she went on hold. And she never came back. And I couldn't wait too long because I had to call the other doctors and I had to call the other optometrists. So I hung up and I thought I'll call them back later. That was like 2.5 weeks ago. I called them back today because I spoke to my doctor and I got a new referral for another appointment for that hospital because I figured they can't argue with a new referral with a new appointment. Like they'd have to have a reason to deny it. They can't just say we don't like him. We don't like that he changed appointments, even though I didn't go into the book and change it myself. They changed them for me. They did that. So I speak to this lady and she's fine. She said, well, that should be okay. Actually, we sent you a letter to your doctor, which of course they sent to the wrong doctor because they sent it to the wrong referral because the referral that was supposed to come from my actual GP didn't get to them. It was the one from the other doctor. She said, we sent a referral asking them to send another referral to confirm you still needed the appointment and to make another appointment because we wouldn't make any other appointments from the old referral, which actually is still valid. Actually, I just realised it's actually still valid for another 2 weeks. So in theory, I should have been able to make another appointment. I should have been able to the whole time. This shouldn't have been a problem. But I eventually, she said, well, okay, that should be fine when we receive it. I said, well, you should have it already. It was done this morning. And they're like, well, we don't have it now. And sometimes the receptionists, they do all the faxing and stuff at the end of the day. But now that hospital uses an internet system of referrals, so they did actually get it in their email today. But she's like, well, that should be fine, but I'll just speak to someone else. So she goes and speaks to the big boss. Now, I, of course, asked to speak to her, and she's insane. She comes on, and her attitude automatically is to defend her staff, defend their situation, and just argue and prove me wrong. And the whole point of her being on the conversation is just to be right. She's not listening. She's not considering anything. She's not offering anything. She's not trying to resolve anything. She's just right fighting and being dismissive. And after about an hour of this, because there are other things that I had to talk about as well, but that part, we kept coming back to that argument. She said, well, we're just going around in circles. I said, yes, because you're not acknowledging this was even a problem. You're not saying what normal people would say. A normal person would say, oh, that doesn't sound like what we'd normally do. We'll have to have a look into that. That doesn't seem right. I have to talk to someone. Like I'll talk to the staff member. I'll find out what happened, why they said you couldn't come back, blah, blah. She wouldn't acknowledge any of that. And when I asked her about that, she said, you have no right to ask me about my staff and how I deal with my staff or how I manage my people. I said, well, no, I kind of do because I'm like the patient and I'm dealing with your staff. So if they do something wrong or they don't do something that stops me from perhaps, I don't know, getting an echocardiograph, which is important, it's kind of my concern. And she just was warped. She just could not get, either she was just trying to deny because she didn't want to get someone in trouble or I don't know what it was. It was just insane. And we did just go around circles and she wouldn't acknowledge anything. She wouldn't even give me her name. I'd been told what her name was and I was told the other name of the person. And she said, well, I confirmed our names. I said, you didn't actually, but what are your positions? Because she said the only thing I could do was email the Centre for Patient Experience, which is basically feedback at that hospital, which anyone knows with feedback. Basically, it's just a bin to put emails in so they don't actually have to deal with the patients. So I wanted to actually speak to a person about this, and of course there was no one. So, but she wouldn't even give me her name or her position or the position of the other person, so I could make an intelligent email explaining who the people were, what their position was, and what the problem was. So she just wouldn't help. She was just being totally obstructive and just rude. She laughed at me at one point because she thought it was ridiculous. I'm like, this is not a joke. This is a serious thing. I don't have an appointment for an echocardiograph right now for when I can see it in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. As soon as I could go is 4 weeks, but I'd rather wait 5. So I don't know if you guys are going to honour my referral, if you're going to make the appointment, if the appointment's going to be anytime soon. You know, this is an important thing. I shouldn't have gone this long without it. And I just couldn't understand the mentality of this person. And I sort of said she wasn't listening. And she said, look, I've been on the phone with you for like 50 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, ignoring and arguing. You're only on this conversation to win the fight, win the argument. You're not actually listening. You're not trying to resolve the issue or work out what happened. And I said, look, you may as well just hang up. I mean, you're just treating me like nothing, like I'm filth, like I don't even matter. So you may as well just hang up. So she hung up. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this person. I don't know if other people have had this sort of experience with with healthcare, with the staff and that. But I mean, she didn't even see Karen. Karen wasn't there. Gay white Karen is pretty scary, and I didn't even let her out. It was just me just talking, and because Karen gets a lot of stuff done, but this was just crazy, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't understand. So if anyone has any experience, if you'd like to perhaps give me some clues as to what's wrong with this person, that would be appreciated. I really just needed to vent and do a YouTube therapy, some COVID therapy, and talk about this, because that was just a frustrating hour, and I still don't know if they're going to honour my referral, if I'm going to have an appointment in a month or 6 weeks or whatever, or if I'm going to have to go to another hospital and just start again, and just, the delay, and, I just don't understand. It's just totally unprofessional, unreasonable, just made everything worse. It could have been resolved very quickly. She could have just said, that doesn't sound right. That isn't like our standard practice. Look, I'll speak to the person involved, and, I'll see what's happened, blah, blah, blah. I'll get back to you. That's all she had to say, and the conversation would have been over. Instead, she argued with me about just the idea of me having an objection. Just the idea, just the denial, and just the dismissive. I just let it go. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, comment, let me know what you think about this. If you've had a similar experience and you can relate, please let me know. I know it's not a very interesting topic, but I don't know, it's very frustrating, and I just want to see what other people think. Thanks, bye.